Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name is LORENAAGUIRRE and I post here on my YouTube channel every Monday and Saturday, so please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. First off, we are going to be using these tapered square tips and this little stand that I did end up getting from Nailies, but you could also find these on Amazon, and I'll have them linked down below for you guys so it is easier for you guys to navigate them. I have been loving these nail tips because I do feel like they keep more of that tapered square look, and I feel like at the beginning of press-on nails, when that was becoming a thing, like the other ones, they kind of like flare out a little bit and make more of a wider looking type of nail, and I don't feel like that's flattering for anyone's hands. I know sometimes some people, they might prefer that, but with me in the way I do nails, I do feel like it's a lot more flattering if you're able to kind of keep the nails nice and tapered on the sides and things like that, and like the square not to end up flaring out. I do like to blend up as much as I can just to kind of smooth out that cuticle area so I don't have to file a ton. And then I like to kind of bring up the thickness of the nail just a little bit. So I like to place a bead just like that, kind of scraping it on and blending it up. And then after, if I have to, I will blend it back down and making sure I'm keeping the shape on the sides by sliding my brush up against the sides. And I do continue to wet my brush just so that it does make the acrylic to be able to be movable. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and try out these 100 and 100 grit montage files. I ended up picking these up. They were out of the 80/80 grit. 80/80 is usually what I will get because it makes shaping a lot faster for me and things like that, but I felt like for something like this would be fine. But I'm just going to go ahead and start in the middle and kind of just start to work my way out with filing, and then I'm just going to make sure that tip is nice and square and filing the sides and making sure that everything is nice and even, and making sure that some of my acrylic didn't end up actually like bubbling out or bowing out on the sides. And this is pretty much what it is looking like, and then I'm going to kind of go over it lightly with these tips. Since I did end up doing a thinner layer of acrylic, I didn't do super thick because it does have that apex already in it, but I don't really have much of filing to do. I do really like to go in by the cuticle area and blend that in, just so then when I do have them on, it blends into my nail and my cuticle area nice and perfect. But before doing all of this, you guys, something that I would mention is to actually make sure and fit them onto your nails if you guys are doing this yourself, and making sure that they kind of line up with your cuticle area, because everybody's cuticle area is different the way it rounds out. And for some people, this might either be too thick, you might need a little bit more narrow. So just file the tops like inward on the sides and you should be good. You guys could see that file mark that I made in the center of the nail. And now I'm just going to go ahead and go in and kind of just file the rest and making sure that everything is well balanced. And since it is press on nails, I do kind of like to move them this way and that way, just because I do feel like it's a little bit harder filing on these rather than like doing it on an actual person. But definitely recommend holding it in different areas if you feel like it is moving. But these sticky tabs, you guys could tell that they actually really do the job really well by holding the nail tip on. Before, I used to use that paper tack putty stuff, and you guys, anytime I would try to file or anything like that, they would be coming off and moving and all that jazz. So I am a little bit more aggressive when I do come to buffing it out, so that is kind of why it fell off just right now. But yeah, you guys, I am using a 180 grit buffer. This is a really fine buffer and it gets out all of those scratches, and that is what I want because I am going to be doing a French tip design on it. I will only be showing you guys one nail on that just because I do feel like it is the the same method for all the nails, so I feel like there's really no purpose in showing every single nail if it's pretty much all the same. But I'll do my best and try to explain the best way to do a French tip, just because I do feel like there's different things that you should look at when you are doing a French tip. But I'm just making sure that I am buffing those very thorough, making sure getting all those scratches out, just because with the scratches, I do feel like, I don't know, like if you're trying to straight paint over your, like your colored acrylic, if you're trying to go in with the paint, sometimes if there's scratches left, what will happen is that it actually ends up kind of settling in those cracks. But for a little bit of extra smoothness, what I'm going to do is apply a matte top coat on there. And basically what the matte ends up doing is it allows me to really have a smooth surface to work on. I like to wipe the sides really, really well, making sure that there is no added bulk to the nails, especially when you go in and you do all that filing. You want to make sure that you keep it nice and tight on the sides and making sure it's not bowing out. Just because I know a lot of people might think like, okay, like with gel and things like that, it's not going to bulk up the nail that much. It's the very thin layers, but it will. So try your best to keep in mind to wipe the sides of the nails. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that into the light for 60 seconds, and I'm kind of debating what other things to add on it. I was kind of back and forth with these just because these have been really popular this season, so I was like, you know what, maybe I should add some of these with some caviar on them, but I did end up changing my mind because I did want to do the butterflies and things like that. Alright, now picking the color of choice. You guys could pretty much pick any color. I feel like even a light purple with these white butterflies will look so pretty. But I am going to go ahead and go in with black just because I love I love springtime nails, but sometimes I know some people, they have no idea what they should do on their nails and things like that. But I personally really, really, really love doing black and things like that. Are neutrals. If you guys seen my last video, it was a neutral set for Easter, or not Easter, but you know, for the springtime. So I am kind of stepping out of my zone with that, just because normally what I would do for Easter nails or spring nails is I would end up doing like a whole bunch of pastel colors, and I mean, this nude is still pretty pastel, but yeah. So first off, with the French tip, I do like to paint as high up as I want to go with it, and right here seemed to be very, very good. Then I'm going to go ahead and swoop my lines up from each side, from the center out. And I am using a very, very thin liner brush, and I'm just going to go ahead and go in and paint. And I like it to keep it really high up on the side because it kind of just keeps, I don't know, the shape of it just looks really, really nice to me. But something that I would recommend doing is actually kind of bringing in the sides a little bit more, so it does have like more of a V-ish U shape, if that makes any sense. I do feel like that's a lot more flattering on the nails, and it doesn't make them like the nails look like bulky or anything like that. So I like to go from side to side and kind of see where I need to touch up. I like to look at it in different angles, from the sides, from the top, from the bottom. I like to look at it any way that I can to make sure that I am getting the best type of secret, or like the best kind of swoop, if that makes any sense. But the goal is, I feel like when I am doing my French tips, is to actually pretend that there is an almond nail, just because I do feel like almond nails, they are very, very flattering. So I do like to try and make sure that it is more directed towards that shape. So you want to kind of look at more of that nude color and seeing how that shapes instead of the black. I know sometimes it's so easy to get fixated on the black, but I feel like my nude part, it looks a little bit more oval, and it still looks pretty, but I do feel like it's more flattering when you have it kind of like tapered in on the side of that swoop. Okay, so I was unable to film. My clip got deleted, but I did end up applying some foil gel, put in the lamp for 60 seconds. And I think I applied it too thick because I did not want to cure. I put my transfer foil on top of it. And so before you want to rip that off, make sure you throw it into the light one more time. And basically what that will do is it will help you like cure it on there. And then once you pull it off, the whole design will be on there. If I were to have pulled it off before I put it back in the light, what would happen is that some of that gel would have came with it, I felt, because it was very, like, you could tell it wasn't cured all the way. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and get some whites. I am using Colorland Gel, the bomb, super pigmented. I love her stuff. But I am just going to be using a dotting tool and a very thin liner brush. I'm using that same liner brush that I did do the French tips with, and I'm kind of just dotting all over where I would like to have my little stars. And you can even do smaller dots or other size of dots just on the rest of the nail wherever you feel like is fit, and then pull out from the center. Place your brush in the center of the dot and pull out in every which direction that you want it to go. And you guys, this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, I'll be back with more videos. Bye!